director. Okay, I think we are recording, and we're recording when I was saying all the other stuff. So, hey, well, hi, Asha, and
Hi.
everyone out there. This is December 31st, 2020, the last day of the year. My goodness. Yeah, I just so much feeling about this, and I've been processing a lot. And so what I was starting to tell you before I hit record was I literally just woke up a half an hour ago, and we're recording this at noon.
Good
And
for you.
yeah, well, because what's been happening is I've been waking up in the ambrosial hours, that the three to five for the last 2 weeks with just, as we say, downloads, right? So 3 o'clock this morning, and I've given way to it. Like, okay, this is the time. So I was up from 3 to 6:30 writing, and fell back asleep and woke up at 11:30 and said, "Oh my gosh, I've got a Zoom meeting with my sister." So here we are on this last Sister My Soul of the year. We are in a place of reviewing. How do we move forward? Do we move forward? We both have so many projects going on. And just before I got my phone set up, and I said to my husband, I'm going to meet with Asha and our Sister My Soul conversation. This may be the last one. He said, why? So I tried to explain to him the why. He's like, I think you guys should keep going. So it is offer. We're going to review maybe that today, but let's just let me gather myself. But let's just drop in and connect our hearts, our souls, and the ability to be beyond this electronic wall and to meet each other right where we are, soul to soul, as we have all needed to learn to do during these times of sheltering in place, to find other ways of connection, to transcend the limited places of our being, to find each other right where we are. And for me, just to come into my body, my being, and whatever's present for both of us to share in this time of connection, for we know that what we share, we believe and hope will outreach to other women and support them right where they are. Okay. Oh, my dear, it's good to see you. It's been a little
Good to see you too. Yeah, good to see you too.
You have been like one of my lifelines. I want to say this too. I've been very emotional since the full moon in Cancer, just like weepy and just a gratitude, though. It's just such gratitude. But you have been like a touchstone, a lifeline, a constant, a lifeboat. And so here we are, so I just want to thank you for saying yes to just having these unusual ways of connecting through Zoom, to feed my soul, to, again, our hope to outreach to more women, but just stepping up and saying yes, just like that. So thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you for being you.
Yeah, you've definitely been a touchstone, a lifeboat, all those things. I just find it so fascinating that we met so many years ago and just never really, we both were busy and doing our life, and it took a pandemic to reconnect us, kind of serendipitously. And see, now you're going to make me cry.
I think we all need to cry and clear.
Yeah, it was from the beginning. I feel safe with you in a way I don't feel unsafe with people, but I often feel like that I'm the giver or the space holder for a lot of people. And you are a place where I allow you to hold space for me. Mm-hmm. And I know it's not anybody else's responsibility, because I don't allow a lot of people to hold space for me. I have a kind of a small circle of people that I'm willing to be really super vulnerable and I don't like the word weak, but yeah, vulnerable, fragile, all those things. Because I am the placeholder and the strong one for a lot of people, being a minister and And just as my natural way before I was a minister, it's been my way. So to have a place with you whenever we meet, because it hasn't been super, scheduled, which is perfect. We just have rolled with each other. And every time we come together, I feel such a space of breath and openness and ability to just show up how I am.
Yeah.
Monday, I spent almost the entire day in bed. I had the excuse of I have a headache, my neck hurts, but I had the room was dark, and I don't think I got out of bed till 7:30 p.m.
Yes.
I was on and off sleeping all day long, and when I wasn't sleeping, I was staring at the back of my eyelids, and I noticed the swirly old dark thoughts, the give up, the hopeless kind of stuff. And it also, at the same time, it felt different that I allowed myself. I woke up very clear. I'm depressed today, and I don't really even like that word because but I was in a very low frequency. That's kind of what I want to claim. I was in an extremely low frequency day, and I had noticed myself kind of leading up to that over the last days before Monday. And it's this dark time. It's perfect time to cocoon, and the end of the old year, getting ready for the new. But I just absolutely gave myself permission. I was blessed and able to have my husband take the dog for a walk, so I didn't have to get up and do that. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't eat all day. I drank water. I made sure, and my husband kept checking on me, how you doing, without being intrusive. He's a person that I learned a long time ago I can be completely, a mess with, and he's just right there holding space for me, however I am, whatever I need. And I just gave myself permission. And he said, if you need to lay in bed all day or all week or all month, you can do that.
Yes.
And giving myself permission to do that. And I know my key word for myself is buoyancy, joy and buoyancy. And I was not feeling my joy. And buoyancy is, but that's the word that I hang on to when I'm at the bottom of the pond, in the muck. I know I'm buoyant. So I'm able to say to my husband, I know I'm buoyant. And he said, however long you need to do this, do that, you do it, take it for yourself. So I think all of that served me to, by Tuesday, I was bored and I got up and took a shower and took the dog for a walk and got back to, a little of my routine. And I noticed I'm still fragile. I'm still tender. My frequency feels low, but it's not the hiding in my room low. And I'm just okay. I'm just giving myself permission. I had started right before Thanksgiving a food plan and an exercise program, and I've been very good and taking good care of myself and vigilant. And since Monday, I'm like, nope, I'm not eating like crazy. I'm not off my food plan really, but I said, I'm not going to work out this week. I'm not going to push myself that way. I'm going to start again. I'm just taking a little time out, and that's okay too. Yes. And all of that in the past I would have not given myself permission to do any of that. I would have had to fall apart. I would have had to have a freak out. I would have had to, try to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And there's something different. So
nice.
So, and reconnecting with you today gives me a chance to say all that and to just be so deeply grateful for our time together and our connection and the way, I don't want to say that we give each other permission, but I always feel like I have permission to just be as I am in these times with you. And I don't feel the need to put on any wisdom or knowledge or anything special, except just being myself. Hi, Jody. There's my sweet dog.
Yeah.
She likes to hang out.
Hi, we have a guest speaker in the background.
God is with us. God is with us. So all
Thank
that, yeah,
you.
I mean, literally, when I see you rubbing your chest, my
Wow.
heart hurt
Mm,
on Monday. Like I
wow.
felt pressure, and my husband's like, "Are you, tell me about the pressure in your heart."
Mm,
He's going to worry part. Are you okay? Do I need to take you to the hospital? But no, I just felt heartache,
mhm. Wow.
pressure, pain. But I knew I wasn't having a heart attack. I knew
Yeah.
that there was just something working me.
Yes.
Something is working me, and I'm still feeling that working, and that there's something that wants, like you, in the dark time in the middle of the night, there's something that's working its way through us to take us into this new year. I'm doing a vision board process tomorrow at 2 on Zoom.
Mhm.
And I'm doing it for me, but I invited other people who want to join me, because I thought, well, that's a good creative. I love the tearing out of pages and cutting and pasting. It makes me feel like I'm in kindergarten again, which is a good thing to do. But it's like, okay, well, let's see. Because generally when I do a vision board, I look at it a year later and
Yeah.
I'm always amazed. In the moment, I generally don't know what it's about, but I love looking back at them and going, oh, isn't that interesting?
Yes. Yes. I have to say, gosh, I always like, where do I jump in after you share? Because I want to touch on everything you said. First of all, yes, you have given me space to just show up. And that's where, as practitioners, we can get into that bubble of, especially in a small town, who can I trust to enter into my sanctuary and trust that they'll have my heart, my soul. And although we record now, we started when we first connected, we were just talking, and then we decided to be vulnerable and share with other women. But who can I share my most sacred of secrets, and feel safe with? So
Yeah.
that's how you kept coming back up. You kept coming back up. And so after, and if you remember that very first Zoom call, we just dove right in. I mean, there were no questions. It was just like, we were in the roller coaster, like, oh my God, how are you doing? And just everything. And I was like, this is my sister. I need someone who can rise with my joy, but go down in the dark with me too. And not not be frightened about what I bring, or still love me in the darkness. And so
Yeah.
thank you for that space you held. And it also taught me that I need to reach for support and to do that, because we can do that too. Like, no, I've got tools, I can self-facilitate, and the importance of reaching for support, no matter how many tools you have, and letting me just show up. And for the first few months, it seems like we were very consistent. And I thank you for that. You were like, let's get our schedules. When are we meeting? And we met every week. And then it became more fluid as we maybe were like, okay, thank you, sister. I got my legs again. I can walk on solid ground and walk with 2020 a little bit more stably.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Or maybe we got on the training wheels together, we're like, okay, all right, I can keep going now. Thank you. And so it was less frequent. So um but the vision board, I would say, I've been doing a visioning process. I learned from Reverend Michael, and have an online class for that. And I was joking with a friend. I said, I kind of feel, this is a joke, but a little responsible for 2020, because on on my vision board last year, I had images of meeting women out in nature more. So since I stopped seeing my clients in office, and some of my clients, we meet outdoors, even in the winter, even in the winter. So check that one on my vision board. And wanting to outreach my who I supported and served through Zoom and and instead of just not in person, I wanted to expand. So sorry, everyone. I was working my
That's
vision,
hilarious.
right? I was like, oh, whoops. Be mindful of how you vision and how it. So that was really, and it is interesting to see your vision board. You look and you go, oh my, this is working, and look how it worked out. So,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm not responsible for what happened in 2020, but it is important to see how our visions will arise, however they find their way to us, when we really say yes to it, right? Yes
Yeah.
to this vision. So, so you're doing a live thing. I can put that on my page. I thought about doing a live thing, but I'm like, I created a class, and I do Zoom
Yeah.
support for people, but live on Saturday at what time?
No, it's tomorrow, New Year's Day, 2 o'clock,
Okay.
the Pacific time. And I've got a Zoom link that if people message me on Facebook, I'm happy to share with them. I'm not putting it on Facebook just to be
Yeah.
safe. But yeah, when you were talking about tools, I got this really vivid image of the saw, the two-handled saw. And I feel like so many times in my life, I'm trying to work this tool, this two-handled saw by myself.
Yes.
And that was one of the things on Monday that really came to me so clearly was I'm really good at doing things alone. I'm really good at doing things, being the driver and the starting stuff. And I've done that with my spiritual center. And I like working in collaboration and working in teams. And one of the things that I really want to push myself into this year is how do I encourage teamwork in leadership
Mm.
so that I'm not the primary driver of the things that I want to put out into the world, of the visions and the ideas and the center and all the stuff that I do. I need to enable and make space for other people to step into leadership. And I've called for that,
Mm.
but I don't think I've called for that so well internally. I still
Mm.
have the old paradigm of I ultimately I have to be responsible, or ultimately it's up to me. And it's the same thing with walking my dog, when somebody else has to walk my dog. When I walk the dog, we walk all the way to the front gate off leash. And then when we get to the main gate, going down to the mailbox, I leash her up. But if even my husband, who my dog loves very much, when he tries to walk her without me, she won't go. She keeps looking for me, waiting for me. So,
Mm.
but if he puts the leash on up at the house and walks her, she just goes willingly. Oh, okay, we're going for a
Mm.
walk. And it's the same thing, can I count on other people to, if I'm not available or if I'm not, I've done all my own setup every week for services. I like part of that process because it feels like I'm setting the space when I'm doing that. But also what I notice is when other people arrive a little bit early for a gathering, I'm not available for them. I'm not present to them. I'm too busy getting the camera set up and I'm like, hi, I love you. I'm great to see you, and I'm busy. I'll talk to you later. And that's not how I want to be.
Right. Yeah.
So there's something about this, the two-handled saw. I
Mm.
want to call myself into acceptance of allowing other people to grab the other handle, because the saw works so much easier then. I
Wow.
can make it work,
Mhm.
but it's hard.
That's really good. I work with that a lot, try to figure out what is that balance. And I always, for years, I've been like trying to collaborate with women, and it never quite works out. And I remind myself, my life, on numerology, my life path is a 1. I don't know if you follow numerology too, and that
A little
is,
bit.
yeah. So ones are kind of like, yeah, get on, like one person walks the path and does the thing you're doing. But I love the way that you talk about the collaboration, though. Like, I'll tell you what, Julia Anderson gave me the greatest gift, and I've been trying to find that and recreate it ever since, which was whenever she did her first Ascension to Vitality, she invited me, and I was just out of my medical issues, my health stuff, and I wasn't ready to do as many clients sessions as I used to do. And she called and said, "Would you be part of this workshop I'm doing?" And I was like, "Oh gosh, I don't know if I have the capacity." No, no, no. All you need to do is show up. Oh, really? Okay. She promoted it. I helped promote a little bit with my clients, but just show up and do your thing. And that's all I did, Asha. And it was so awesome. I showed up, I did my 2 days of lecturing, and then she handled everything else. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, now how do I do that? Do I hire an assistant? How do you do that? I just want to do my skill set. And I'm not good with the technology and the marketing and all that and all the other stuff that we have to do to keep the connection alive with other people, right? So I'm with you on that. And I love how you speak to it, though. It's like you made peace with it. Like, I don't need to do a two-person thing, but we can take turns in that support place. Um, although I still want to collaborate with you, I still feel this
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
something like doing, we have like the improv stuff and this workshop I did years ago called the Steen Experience, which was soul expression empowered now, which
Ooh,
was expressing all of us being safe to be seen with all we wanted to share, and then playfully dancing and doing some improv just to get
oh,
in that,
cool.
to make it familiar. And I can see us doing something like that. So I want to hold that space open too. But yeah, you help me see and make peace with things that I kind of like wrestling with in my mind. How do I do that? And what's that look like? And back to the place of how we found trust in each other, because that's what we're speaking to.
Mhm.
That has been hard for me, and I want to say that. And I have uh, I think that maybe this is a story I tell myself, that I think a lot of people see me as with a big guard up, and I've got this big heart that wants to connect, but I've had experiences where I learned not to bring everybody in so deeply because
Right,
I've been hurt
right.
that way. And so I always say to people, forgive me if you feel a guard. I'm not wanting to keep you out. I'm wanting to keep me safe. And until I can feel that place, I can open and trust and let you in a little bit, not all the way in. Like I remember Melody Beattie, I think I read this in one of her books years ago. She said, you dip your toe in the water, you don't dive in. You get a sense of how it's going to feel for you when you're making connection with people. I was a diver. I was just like, hey, I love you, boom. Oh,
Right. I know that. Yeah.
so visioning, since you're doing a visioning class and I've got mine online, and it's a big part of how I work in my own being and what I teach my clients, let's talk a little bit about visioning for this container here called Sister My Soul. It's kind of, I was prepared just to lay it down and say, okay, I need to focus on other things. But again, I trust. When Ben said that to me, I was like, okay, all right. Now here's why. Part of the reason I excuse me, was wanting to lay it down. Excuse me. Um, I got into there's too much going on and I have to let something go. But I also, this is the place that um, and it arose in a meditation. My whole theme for 2020, and this is before COVID happened, was you don't have to be perfect, just show up. And COVID made it like, yep, I'm in my sweatpants and no makeup, and I don't care, you know.
Yeah,
But
right.
right, but I found that I was teetering on the just phoning it in, and
Mm,
and in doing so, diminishing my power. Like there was this sort of a like, hey, I'm imperfect, everyone. So sorry, that's the best I can do. And like almost apologizing for myself. When I watch some of my old
mm.
videos on System or the the Soul Nurture channel, I was like, okay, so there is something there that I don't want to do anymore. I don't want to play small. I don't want to diminish. I don't want to just phone it in. I want to be a little bit more professional, and yet I don't want to be too polished. So that's where I got hung up in that. I don't want to make if we continue this or whatever this looks like, I don't want it to be too polished, but I want it to be something of a valuable offering. So that's where I was.
Yeah, I hear that. I'll just share a little bit about, I speak for, at my spiritual center, and then I now also am speaking at two other spiritual centers because of Zoom. I
Yes.
can talk for in Tacoma and Visalia, California, and I'm doing that twice a month now, once each for each of them. And I may do more because I don't do Sunday gatherings. I do Thursdays. I can do Sunday morning somewhere else. So
I want to
I,
ask, was that on your vision board by chance, expanding to other centers by
it
any
really
chance?
wasn't.
Okay.
I haven't really thought about it because that meant traveling and
Mhm.
everywhere as far, I could speak at Unity here, which I've done. I can speak at, other a couple of other spiritual centers on the peninsula, but I don't really want to, I drove to North Kitsap to speak, but most of the time on a Sunday morning, I don't want to get up that early and have to drive, an hour and a half to get somewhere. So Zoom is fabulous, and churches are getting speakers from all over the country and the world because they can, which is really cool. So I love that. When I started my ministry, I used to have a process, a mind mapping process that I would do for my talks. And I would I don't script my talks. Some ministers actually will like write the whole thing and script their talks. And that's cool for them. Yeah. Being a spiritual improv person, I found that didn't work for me. That if I planned out too much, I wasn't present to now, to what wants to be said now through me. Mm-hmm. I'm the vessel, what wants to be spoken now through me. So I noticed I still usually pull 2 or 3 quotes, and I have a topic and a really loose mind map. And then I just talk.
Love it.
And I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. And I never know how it's going to tie together. And then a story of my life or some example or something will come up. And the voice that always comes in the left side of my head will say, yeah, say that. And I go, okay. And then people will say, your talks are so amazing and how you weave it all together. And I'm like, great. So there was a part of me that judged that for a little while. I'm not planning enough. Ministers spend all Saturday crafting their talks, and they have beautiful talks. They're wonderful. And sometimes they come off very off the cuff because they've practiced enough the day before or the week. One of my minister friends starts on Tuesday and starts gathering stuff and knows that things are going to happen during that week he can use in the talk. And that's all great for them. My process is different. And I got to just say to myself, this is your process. This is how Spirit expresses through you. And I have to trust that now. So is it less professional that I don't plan my talks? I don't know. Do people get value out of what I say when I do a talk? And do they take notes and say, what was that thing you said? Yes. So I got to just back off of that. And, I show up with my hair combed, I don't just roll out of bed, I do show up. I do take space before I speak to ground and to, do all those things so that I can be present right now. Yes. Now, normally, if I'm talking in a room of people, I can also read the room. And on Zoom, I can't do that. I generally don't see even any of the participants, maybe a couple. And I still can read the room to a certain extent because there's an intuition and you have that. You have all that. So you do, to me, this is just completely my opinion, you show up professionally and you share your wisdom in a way that is authentic. And maybe we set a time limit and maybe we say, here's going to be the topic for the day, and then see where that goes. I'm just throwing out.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yes. Yeah.
So maybe we say we do a half an hour. We have a strict time limit. We keep an eye on the clock. Now we're going on 40 minutes and that's okay.
Are we today. Right now? Are we?
Yeah, we're at 12:39. I'm just noticing the time.
Thank you, because I can't see it. Yeah.
Yeah. When I do talks, I try never to talk longer than 20 minutes.
Yes, it's important. I know. I mean, everyone's so saturated and overwhelmed that they don't have 40 extra minutes to sit and listen. So thank you for that. That touches something deep in me. I could feel it hovering right over my, is this good enough? And judging it as not good enough because I do it differently. Very much so. And I do have the gift of gab when it comes to delving in deep topics, not so much in small talk, really awkward small talker. But
yeah, me too. I'm not good at it anymore.
here. I just, yeah, it just doesn't work for me. But that really helps me think about it. I think there's a both and though, maybe a little bit more intentional, like you said, a topic or a little bit of, I do want to share this quote or this is important because I do my videos for the YouTube channel like that freestyle. And often I'll say, oh, I wish I had said that thing I wanted to say. So to have,
Mm.
and I have been using a little bit of a notes to look at and review and then go back to the freestyling. But that trusting, it's really ultimate trust. And I remember watching Wayne Dyer was one of my spiritual mentors that I did meet him once, but that I didn't sit with. I just connected with. And I remember watching him make that shift from really dialed in, like an act almost like he was the same saying the same thing over, and I was like, gosh, I remember him saying that before. And then when he had that huge transformation before our eyes, he had his own health stuff, and he just said, I just show up and see what wants to come through me. And I remember thinking, I'm going to do that. And Reverend Michael Beckwith too, I remember
Yeah.
him saying he doesn't do a lot of different things, he does the one thing, he just shows up and allows spirit to work through him. Yeah, that. So thank you for that reminder. And also the reminder that we're at 40 minutes. Boy, felt like 5 minutes. So, let's
Yeah.
continue to vision and consider. One thing I wanted to say is I wanted to say maybe we share this space. Like, I want to interview women that inspire me. And I'm like, where would I
Yes.
put that? So maybe we take turns. You interview somebody, create the video and upload it yourself, and I do that. So we can like invite more women and more voices. I've got chills, so yes. Okay.
So yes, yeah, yeah. When you were talking, you had said something about another person that you were interested in maybe collaborating with or talking with. We could have three of us having a conversation, and we could, you know, all keep an eye on time, and we could do a few minutes each, or do a little bounce off each other. I mean, yeah, there's so many ways that this can unfold, and
Absolutely. Yep.
it,
Yeah.
it's been the way it needed to be for now.
Yes, it's beautiful. What I was saying is I was thinking of giving it to a younger woman to take over to
Mm.
speak to younger women, but I think there's a both and here too, that I can invite a younger woman to take the space and do her own video and put it up. I want to expand again. That was it. More women, more voices to be heard, maybe through this platform. It doesn't have to be me, you, or two people, more ways. So that feels good. I'm going to explore that more. But let's wrap up. Do you want to give us a prayer? Oh, I wanted to read something really quick.
So
I just
please,
have because I did this video on like finding gratitude for 2020. This is what woke me up at 3 o'clock this morning, and this is only a part of it. And this is my thank you to 2020. So want to encourage people to write their own list of thank you. And maybe you have some to add before we wrap up. Sorry, this is a long one. Okay, so
oh, hang on, you just disappeared. Your voice just disappeared, and I don't know why. You just went on mute. I don't know why, but you got muted. I'm not sure what happened either. I don't think I can ask you to unmute because I'm not. No.
oh,
There
that
you
was
are.
really weird.
That
Wow.
was weird.
Who's
Okay.
trying to mute me? Okay.
No,
Wait a
no.
minute.
That
That
was your
is
subconscious. That was your I'm not good enough thing wanting to mute you. Now you get to
okay.
say what you wrote.
Clear that and clearing that. Okay, let's try again. Whew, I didn't even touch the screen. So let's go. Okay, so this woke me up at 3 in the morning, and it's about giving thanks so we can integrate this experience we just had of 2020. So thank you, 2020, for knocking the rose-colored glasses from my eyes so I could see more clearly what I needed to see, for stirring my fears, limited beliefs, stagnant patterns, and stuck ways of being to be offered up for transformation, for reminding me how resilient I am and making me realize how hard absolute acceptance is, but how necessary it is for healing, for humbling me, for deepening my life supporting roots of faith, trust, and hope, for revealing more of my shadow and my ability to find light in the dark, for teaching me to be comfortable being uncomfortable and how to surrender over and over again, for inviting me to walk with forgiveness and gratitude the doorways back to grace, for making me appreciate the little successes, for recalibrating my pace and priorities and helping me accept that resting is restorative and not lazy, for reminding me that I'm a human being, not a human doing, that my value is not based on what I do, my value is in my being, allowing me to embrace my introvert and empathic nature, setting boundaries that I couldn't set on my own, helping me remember how precious life is and the time we have left, for offering me a much needed reset, and for returning me to myself. So that came to
You
me.
need to put that on Facebook.
I did create a post.
Good.
This all happened between 3 and 6, but I was like, that was me making peace with 2020 and finding gratitude in it. So yeah, and I'm sure you have much gratitude and you speak it often. And
Yeah, all of that is exactly right.
yeah.
Exactly right. I'm,
So
yes,
yeah.
it's been a tough year, and I just continue to see the amazing creativity and resilience of the human spirit
Mm,
through all of it,
yes. Yes.
including me, including you,
Mm, yes.
including everybody, that there is some amazing resilience that we carry,
Mhm.
and we do better when we're together.
Mm, so true. Wow, my dear, would you like to just close out this Sister My Soul year with a beautiful, one of your beautiful prayers?
Sure.
Thank you.
My prayer is to echo every single thing that Victoria just read, to spend this last time of 2020 in gratitude for all the gifts that this year has brought, along with the gifts of feeling our pain, allowing ourselves to move through and be grateful, to see something differently than we've ever seen before, to see with these new eyes, and to have the amazing continuous ability to move forward. That we replay this spiral over and over again. And every time it is an expanded spiral. It is holding more lush, more abundant, more full than ever before, more connective and collaborative than ever before as a human being doing. And as a species, I see this as the new path forward as we step into this age of Aquarius together. I am grateful for all the learning that we have done and that we will continue to do as we step into this newer paradigm and the bigger possibilities for life. A life of kindness and compassion, a life of connection, a life of oneness. And so in gratitude for all this and so much more, I release this year into the annals of history.
Mhm.
And I step boldly and gratefully into the new year. Grateful for all the connections, all the discoveries, all the grace. And so it is.
Mm, so it is. Mm. Bless you, my sister. Bless you. And thank you, all of you who are watching with us. And chime in. Let us know what you'd like to see through the Sister My Soul channel. Do you want other women's voices? Do you have someone you want to recommend to be interviewed? Let us know. We're moving into another transformational cycle in 2021, but it's a lot more innovative and free and expressive. So we're ready. All right, my dear friend, I will see you soon. Talk to you soon. I love you. I love you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Bye, honey.
Bye.